Hello, this is Darius with Divine Numerology, and we're here to talk about numbers. We're here to talk about everything. We're here to talk about a little bit about the moon eclipse, and we got an awesome guest, so don't go nowhere. Hello, we're back. We are back today. So this is Darius with Divine Numerology. Thank you everyone who's tuning in all the countries and all the cities and all the states. Those who follow me on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Snapchat. Thank you for tuning in today and, hearing what we have to share with you guys. Your support means the world, especially to our heart of gold, which is the city of Stockton herself. So I just want to get into some about numbers. I want to talk about the number of the day. Today's August the 18th. And August the 18th, the number of this day being the 18th would mean that it is a day corresponding to a number called the moon, a planet called the moon. Why? Because the 18 is what's considered the 18th card in the tarot, and it has such characteristics as that, somewhat being a mystical day, a day of illusion, a day focused on the number 1 and 8. The 1 represents the influence of the sun, and the 8 represents the influence of Saturn. 1 being vision and sight, and then the 8 being structure and form. The 2 combine to create the number 9. And 9, we used to say at some point that 9 resonates with the planet Mars. But what we find is that it resonates more closely with this planet called Chiron. And Chiron is what's called the wounded healer. It resonates with using one's pain that one has experienced in life in a way that upbuilds and heals other people around you, which is a very powerful and potent energy. The planet Chiron, if you're born today on the 18th, you're influenced mainly by the number 9. And the number 9 itself, like we said, resonates with the Chiron, but is the number of wisdom and integrity. It's the number of conclusions. It's a number of things coming to a completion and of regeneration being brought back. And there's some really interesting things about this number 9 and how it corresponds to the body. Looking at the way the body is structured and formed, the planet Chiron would correspond to the upper back. And if someone were to do an astrology chart, we would find certain numbers and certain planets corresponding together, especially as it relates to a person's numerology chart. And if you have a issue with the upper back, then it would be very helpful to see where the number 9 appears on your chart in a numerology reading, because that's where it would correspond to. So that's just some interesting things about the number the number 9 and how it relates to today. If we took the entire date of today, let's see, the 18 and the 8, that we got the 26, then we have 10. So today would be an overall 9 day, because the outcome would be 9. But this 9 is different from 18. This is going to be a 36-9, which infuses the energies of the 3 and the 6 together to give us the totality of the 9. So 3 would be expression and sensitivity focused on the number 6 energy, which is vision, acceptance, love, harmony, and balance. So this would be related to how we are expressing ourselves within our relationships with other people. Very important question. How are we coming across and expressing ourselves in a way that is really authentic and really genuine and true of us, and being able to balance this? The challenge between the 3 and the 6 of today's life path is 3. So the energy that's a gift is also the challenge for this particular day. Really being able to express ourselves, to live in the moment, have fun, and enjoy life, and be present, and be here, and be, focusing our positive, happy energies. That being said, we have the influence of a double 9 energy vibration and a double 9 energetic vibration. This combination is huge. If you happen to be born on the 9th, 18th, or the 27th, this is actually a day that will resonate with you very strongly and will bring certain issues or themes related to your life path or date of birth relevant to you. It'd bring it up in your face, kind of. If you have a life path 9, then it would also bring situations that would encourage you to lead, because 9 is also a leader number. 9 is a number of completions, endings, and closures. Today would not be the best day to start a new venture or to start something that you anticipate lasting for a long time. If you're going to get married, a day like the 9th, 18th, or the 27th is probably not the best choice, because it's not so much lending itself toward new things as it is lending itself toward things that are phasing out and coming to a completion. That is for the day of today, what the energy of today is. Now, if you guys are wanting to know how you can activate your own personal numbers and discover the power that's inside of your numbers and the potential there's ways that we can do that through an actual private reading. For my viewers who are watching, you can message me on this box in this video, and you can also come check out my like page and my personal page, Darius Oliver and Divine Numerology. And so if you have any questions, you could definitely message me, so we can get to you on those. Taking a look at this overall month, we're in the month of August, which is the 8. So the 8 brings to the fore karmic matters, karmic issues, karmic themes. When we think of karmic, it's not necessarily karma as being bad, but karma from the standpoint of it allowing us the opportunity to purify things, to purify places and situations in our life that we may have brought over from past and previous incarnations, past lives, and to make neutral, make better in this time. And that is a powerful number. 8 is a number of social things, social gatherings. It's a number of marketing. It's a number of social power, abundance. And when doing anything related to those themes in the month of August, a person will see very good success. There will be a tendency and a likelihood to experience success in that way from that. We're actually getting ready for this eclipse coming on the 21st of this month, and it's going to be really big, really big. People in Oregon are already feeling it. We've already been feeling it. What's going on is a purge. People are releasing old stored energy. You're probably already feeling it, but by the 21st, you're really going to feel it. And we're actually going to talk a little bit more about that when we get back from this break that we're going to have. So stay tuned, okay, guys? We'll be right back. Yes, we are back. Thanks for tuning in. This is Darius Oliver with Divine Numerology, and we are here talking to you about the eclipse on August 21st. So what's going on? What does it have to do with numerology? What's the big deal? What is so important about this event? Why are so many people talking about this? Well, if you look on any website about it, you just find out that there's so much information about it. So many facts, so many things. Just of course someone's going to ask questions like this. The last eclipse that we've actually had that was touching the United States was in 1979 in Oregon. And this is actually the first total solar eclipse that's touching the continental United States since then. So it's a very significant event. For some people, it's a once in a lifetime thing. And we have a lot of people, I have a lot of friends who are actually going up to Oregon right now on their way to go and see this eclipse. I have friends who've been there since the 17th. There are events that are going down there in Oregon in respect and honor for the eclipse and what it has to do, what it's here for, what it's doing. Some of the interesting things about it are that its first point of contact is in Oregon, and that happens to be the 33rd state in the United States. And it's the day that it actually starts is the 233rd day of this year. You know, just some really interesting points on that. It's going to travel throughout the United States, and that's where the most of the attention is going to be, this eclipse as it travels over this space. What effect will it be having? What's the significance? Well, with these solar eclipses, with these eclipses of this type, it always sets off new cycles. Something of note that was found in our research was that each cycle is about 18 months. So significant that that number 18 popped up again. 18, the number of the moon in the tarot. So it's the start of an 18-month cycle. And over the course of this 18-month cycle, it will bring about many new changes, many new things. And when we're talking about many new things, we're talking about people are letting go of energies that no longer serve them. Lower energy forms are being brought out. It's like a purging of people, a purging of their inner things that need to be brought up and worked on. Lower energy frequencies are being released, and it's a great purging at this time. So you'll notice that you may feel a little bit more sensitive, especially around the time of the 20th and the 21st, but especially the 21st and afterward, because we also have some planets in retrograde. And what that means is that it appears from our planet, from Earth, that they're rotating backwards, when they're not in reality. They're just rotating around or orbiting around the sun, which makes them appear as though they're rotating backwards. The way that this synchronizes with our planet in certain events is that certain things become confused in translation. So for anybody that is wanting to set intentions around the time of the 21st, it's a very powerful time. It's very important to make sure that we're specific and that we're saying things that are clear and very clearly understood, so that nothing gets mixed up in translation. We are also in Mercury retrograde too, so this is definitely something to keep in mind. For those of you that are, wanting to plan things and set intentions for this time frame. Other than that, for those that are on their way to Oregon right now for the eclipse, keep in mind that traffic is packed. Traffic is ridiculous. People that live there are preparing for this like it's a natural disaster. And they're telling people to store food. They're telling people to be prepared to live several days without technology. Not because something crazy is going to happen, but it's just going to be very packed and congested in that area. So people it's important for them to keep in mind. For those of you who are on your way right now, listening to this on your way as you're driving, just keep in mind that you want to not take the back roads. Avoid the back roads if you can, and be very careful and safe, because ambulance, police is going to be, the response is going to be very slow. It's expected to be relatively slow. If you plan on having fun and barbecuing, don't do it in your backyard. Don't do it in a patio or anything like that. Just do it in a safe environment, where it will be nothing too risky. Okay, just keep that in mind. And for those of us who are in Stockton, it is it's very important, because we're way over here, but yes, this is going to affect everybody. People who are going to the eclipse in Oregon are going to see it, and they're going to witness it, but everyone is going to feel the power of this, because we're all going to be experiencing these new energy frequencies that are coming to the planet. And it will affect us in certain parts of our body, like it can affect some people's chakras in different ways, different parts of the body in different ways. And, so if you're experiencing any of these symptoms, especially ascension symptoms, this is normal. And it's to be expected, especially the fact that all these retrogrades from different planets like Mercury are affecting us all at the same time as this eclipse. And if you want an idea of what it's going to be like, just kind of have in mind what you were doing last year in 2016 in the month of March. So what we're going to experience from this eclipse is, in a way, bringing that to completion of which we started around March of 2016. And it's starting a new cycle. So that is just something to keep in mind for all of us, because it just marks that significant point in time. How this relates to numerology a little bit more is that the last eclipse, it has been about 99. There's the number 99 is showing up there a lot in the figures for the number for this eclipse. The number 33 is showing up. We have a lot of master numbers that are showing up around this event, making it very auspicious. And something to take note of. So mark it on your calendars, and whatever shifts you notice between now and the next 18 months, just pay attention and know that the eclipse was the spark of it. If you guys have any further questions about this, definitely message me and see how this can possibly relate to your personal numerology charts, because it will resonate and you will find some similarities and characteristics. Me personally, I'm in a personal 18-9 year. And there goes that number again, 18. And today is the 18th. So these numbers, this is a very auspicious time. We see repeating ones and eights. So for those of you who are interested in angel numbers, as soon as we go on to our next break, take a look at what repeating angel number 1s and 8s means for you, okay? So we're going to go right on to our break. We got a really awesome guest. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. Hello, this is Darius with Divine Numerology, and we have an awesome guest. Thanks for everybody who is tuning in. We got Nidawi Jai with us, and she's going to tell us about clairvoyance. She's going to share with us what exactly it means to be an empath, because we hear that word thrown around so much, and a lot of people really don't know what it means. And there's some very sensitive people who would probably appreciate having, being able to relate and know that they're not alone in adjusting to these energies that are coming into the planet. And so she's going to really be sharing a lot with us about what she does and how she uses these abilities to empower herself and others, and also how she empowers the animal community and how she is a part of that movement, along with any of the other things that she does as well. So first of all, I want to thank you, Nidawi, for being on the show with us, and being on with us last minute, because I had a guest and he had to go take care of something, and then you happened to be here, and it was, you happened to respond to the call, and it just happened.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, so I just wanted to start off by asking, what exactly does it mean to be an empath?
Being an empath it's actually a natural ability. Traditionally, you're just taught about your outer abilities like sight, sound, touch, etc. Everybody has that ability to an extent, and basically, being an empath, I'm sure you've heard of, the word empathetic. You're empathetic to someone or their situation. It means you feel their situation, you can kind of relate. So being an empath, you're just extremely sensitive to energy. You can sense someone's state of mind or state of presence, or in a situation, you can really feel the tone of a room or what's going on. So it's like you're more open and receptive.
Okay. Awesome. So, because I speak to a lot of different people, and they say, when I go into a room, I just feel this nauseated feeling sometimes.
Right, yeah.
Is that a little bit about what it means at times?
That's a classic example. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like the step, or the steps before becoming more intuitive and clairvoyant. So if you look at it as a matter of layers, you know what I mean? Interesting.
Very interesting. So it's different. So people have different layers and degrees of being an empath?
Yeah, I personally think that everyone has the potential for these abilities, because it's just biologically, it's part of your makeup as a human on the planet. I think that within the last, I want to say 50-ish years, we are seeing more of an influx of people that are being born with those abilities more predominant. You've heard the term indigo children and things like that. So that's just becoming more present on the planet because of where we're at right now. I sort of went on a rant. What was the original question?
What does it mean as far as being an empath and the sensitivities and things like that? You're on the right track.
Okay. Yeah, so it's just about being aware of energy, I guess, to put it simply, because everything is made of energy.
Awesome. So how does this relate to clairvoyance?
Well, because it gives you an emotional, a deeper perspective. It can differ from person to person. For me, when I'm, looking at someone or reading someone's space, it's I see kind of like a movie clip or a book, and everything is sort of in a negative, black and white kind of thing, but it's tons of information, and I have to flip through it and focus on if someone has a specific question or something they want me to look at, I'll like hone in and narrow my focus. So the underlining like empathic part of that is it just makes me more sensitive. Like I'm more aware of the different parts of the situation, or like the feelings involved, how it has like affected that person, etc.
Okay. So you can basically get a feel just by looking at a person.
Yeah.
You can get you can tune into them and kind of know many of the things that they've been through in their life and how it's affected them and to their development. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's an interesting question, and that's a good question because it's really important for me to be honest in communication and be clear. And it's actually not okay to read someone's space unless you have their permission.
Awesome.
So that's important to know. And if anybody is also interested in exploring that part of themselves, don't go around like randomly reading people and then telling them about it. It's not appropriate because it's like stepping over a boundary. But what happens naturally for me is I just call it a snapshot. Like when people are walking by, I'll just see like little blips of sort of, it's almost like when you open a book and there's like the introduction or like the summary of like what the story is about. So I kind of get like those little blips.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's deep. That's heavy. So we're gonna go to break in a second.
Okay.
So when we get back, we're gonna talk a little bit more about what this clairvoyance and how this ability has been tuned and how it can be used as far as empowerment for others.
Yeah.
We'll talk soon. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. We're back. Divine Numerology with Darius Oliver. We have Nidawi Jai with us, and
Hi.
she is an awesome clairvoyant and empath. We're just talking about clairvoyance and how this relates to being able to help others see the potential and the energy of themselves. We were actually taking a look at your name, Nidawi, on the break, and the first name equals 18, which is the number of the moon, and the number 9. You know, when we break down the 1 and 8, which gives us the planet Chiron, the wounded healer. So that, and then you just mentioned to me that that was something very big, something very powerful for, you know, in your life. So that's very significant, even considering the day.
It is.
And then the total of your full name equals 21, which is the world.
Wow, that's intense.
Yeah. So it's the world. Your full name equals the world. And yeah, that's really cool. And the Jai is 3, which would correspond to the Empress. So we have the moon and the Empress, which creates the world. So you're here to do something that will impact the world.
Wow. Thank you.
The universe in some tarot card decks.
Wow, that's really cool. I'll ask you about those details again later. That's really
cool. So that, you know, just keeping that in mind. So we're about to close it out, but for those of our listeners who would like to have a reading from you, Nidawi, and to see any type of wisdom that they can glean from you, what do they need to know right now? What's the best way that they can get a hold of you for readings or any services or products?
You can just contact me on my Facebook page, which is basically my name, NYDAWIJAI. And if you're not comfortable leaving like a comment in the public area, then you can just message me.
Awesome. Yeah. Is there a phone number that you can be contacted at this time, or
Sure.
is that okay?
Yeah, I can give up my number. It's 209-561-6996.
Awesome. Again, that is
209-561-6996.
Awesome, guys. So you hear that? Pay attention to these numbers. She has 6996, and 6 is about co-creation. 9 is about healing. So healing through co-creation.
Yeah,
and,
exactly.
You know, so here we have these numbers, even in the phone number, being reflected in her work and what she does. And right before we go, just a quick little second, I wanted to fit in the animals and how they fit in with what you do.
Okay. Well, I've been interested in animal communication for a long time. I didn't start more committing to it until like the last couple of years. I've had lots of really wonderful experiences communicating with animals. I consider them my family, my equals. I don't have like a owner-pet relationship with them. And we work together, we compromise to live our lives. For example, when I take my dogs for a walk, my cat likes to come along. She's very adventurous. And we've worked out an agreement where she doesn't pursue other cats to get into fights. So she'll walk along with me and she'll play around, but we've worked it out so it's beneficial for both of us because I listen to her point of view, I respect her point of view and what she wants to do. And also, you know, I pretty much walk everywhere. So like when I walk to the store, she wants to come along. And in the past, she's wanted to cross the street, which is extremely busy, and it makes me nervous. And so I've explained to her why I'm not comfortable with that and what I prefer for her to do. And so we've, again, worked out a compromise where she'll sort of, there's a nice little, like, space where she can kind of hide and hang out while I go to the store. And it doesn't matter how long I am. When I come back, she's right there waiting for me.
Wow.
And then we'll continue our walk.
Wow.
Back on, yeah. So things like that. And then with my dogs, I have 3 dogs. There's sort of a lot of like day-to-day kind of simple conversations, like, you know, let's not argue over the bone, and, you know,
Yeah.
kind
So
of things like that. But
basically, that communication, you establish these agreements. I'm gonna have to talk to you about this after the show about
okay.
my cat, because he likes to run out of the house and we keep him in.
Oh, okay.
But thank you for sharing that. We'll definitely go more over that in detail
Okay.
at a later date.
That sounds good.
We'd like to have you back. Hopefully you can come back to the show.
Okay.
That has been our show for today, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you soon and soon again.